yo, hey, diamonds on whatever, baby, check my bezel. Hey, Kayy, Mona Lisa, bro, no coming once. Hey, I be Louis steppin', I be Gucci steppin'. Hey, we gon' pull up on the beat, get the message.
What's up, everybody? I am Kayy Simone. Alongside me, I have none other than my main man, Ali John, of course. And you guys are now tuned into yet another episode of Champions Corner here at LRM Network. Today we have photographer, videographer, jack of all trades. iAmSkit in the building.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for stopping by the
No, thank you for having me, guys.
Table, of course. So you are like I said, photographer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a photographer, videographer. Actually in the motions of becoming a director as well.
Nice.
Just really doing a lot of behind the scenes and studying.
Yeah. When did you decide to actually take photography and videography serious?
To be honest with you, it's just one of those things that it's just like kind of gravitated towards me. I was doing it a little bit just as far as like, surviving wise. Like, I was in Miami for like 5 or 6 years. And, I used to just think my cameras into the clubs and things like that. And I just noticed like I used to have a niche for like getting like different type of shots, and I was close up on people. So, at that point, I just knew like, hey, this is the lane I'm going to go with. And at that point, everybody was just always thinking like, oh, you're with these artists because I'm so up close and personal, but they're not really seeing the behind the scenes of me having to sneak in the club and things like that. So from there, I just, studied the craft and I just perfected it. And from there, I just started studying like composition shots, and I just started like switching that over to videography. And then from videography, I'm just like now I'm going to directing as well. So like I would say, like it kind of hit me like while I was in college, but I've always had a niche since I was like a kid, like just for entertainment period, like when I was like 12 and 13.
That's it.
How did you end up sneaking into these clubs in Miami?
How I used to sneak in was honestly, well, like what I would do is like I would like take my camera body. So I would take my lens and I would give it to like one girl and say, hey, I'll pay you $20 to bring this lens in for me. And then I would pay like another girl like $20 to bring the body camera in for me. So it would be kind of separated. And then I would go in regular. And then when I get in, I'll give them the money and I'll get the camera, put it back together. And then when I get in the club, the bouncers, they're looking at me. They're like kind of like one of those, all right, he's a photographer for the club. So then I started getting to like VIP sections and things like that. And I started just shooting like, like a lot of, talented people in Miami, like your Lil Waynes and the Flow Riders and the Swiss Beats. So that started happening.
That's fire. Yeah. Did you live in Miami?
Yeah. I went to school down there. Yeah, so I lived in Miami for like 6 years, 6 going on 7 years. So I was down there for a lot. So I kind of know Miami. It's like second home to me. Like I literally can go back there and like know streets, spots. Like even if you guys call me, I say, yeah, you gotta go here tonight. Like I still know Miami. Yeah, still know it. Yeah.
That's lit.
Nah, yeah, for sure.
So you was like in the VIP sections, like the artists wouldn't even question it, they just figure
sometimes you get artists who be like, nah, I'm chill, I don't want to do this. Like for example, like if you have like a Heat game and you see some of the players, they say, nah, I'm not supposed to be here. So that's kind of different. But a lot of the artists there, they just is always like, it's Miami, so it's for fun. So it's like, yeah, take pictures. So I used to always just like I said, like just kind of just tweak my little angle, my little way, and I just switched it because I like taking a lot of candid stills. Right. I don't like taking like, hey, stand here or, pose. Those don't really do nothing for me. So when I actually got into like candids, like, sometimes I'll probably catch like, the guy grabbing a drink or catch like by the side of a person's head or something. Yeah, motion. It just makes the photo feel a little bit different. So people started really gravitating to that style a lot more, and they just started just like wanting to see more of my work. So I just said, I hit more clubs up. At the end of the day, I'm not getting paid for this, but the back end was, the up and coming artists were like, hey, I want to work with you. So that's kind of where it would come from. You know what I mean? So that's how I really started developing income for it and started like hustling, doing photography and videography in Miami.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so dope.
Nah, for sure. For sure.
I'm just wondering, like, so when you were doing videography, how did you get into that lane?
Videography for me, it got into the lane as like artists used to always say, come to the studio, pull up and take some photos. And then what happened was they started always saying, yo, you don't do videos. And I started noticing like I didn't like, I like to cover all lanes. I felt like really stagnant, and I just was like, I'm gonna start doing video. So I just started just like, editing, learning stuff like that, and just so I figured like photos is just, they're stills, a video is just moving photos. So I just started playing around with that and just moving my camera and just like, looking up like the grids and, different rules. And from there, I just literally just learned, and I just took it on from videography, and then I kind of just ran with it. At one point, I was just doing videography work. I wasn't even doing photos because I felt like that was getting boring to me. So I was just doing straight videography work, and I just like the edits and like the actual motion and catching like the live raw audio. I'm a big fan of that. Like,
so what was the learning curve for like the videography stuff? Because it's way different than the still pictures. So what was the learning curve like?
The learning curve for that was a little bit more difficult because with editing is like your photo was just your photo was not moving, so it's just like you're really just playing with the color temperatures, and you're playing with like different like grades and LUTs and stuff like that. With video, you're in emotion, so it's like you can transition things, like you can set a different color tone on there, and it'll make the audience feel a certain way. So for me, the learning curve was just like, still to the day I learned, you know what I mean? So but at that time it was just like I was just soaking up everything. Like I was just like, okay, cool, like how can I split the screen or change the transition or slow-mo, like things like that. So the learning curve for me, it took a while for me to really get it, because I was going through a lot of phases of people was like, oh, it's regular, oh, it's trash. But I just always took constructive criticism and just was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna run with it. And then I just started perfecting it, just like taking what everybody was saying wrong with it and started applying it. And then I just started putting in my head, like, what do you want to see? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think is hot? And then that's exactly what I did. And then from there, it just took off for me.
Which one did you like better, the videography or photography? Which one you enjoy doing more?
Honestly, it just really depends. Like concert-wise, I like photos. I like photos. Yeah. But if I'm doing like, studio and things like that, I love videos. Or if I'm doing like travel vlogs, or if I'm doing like, just events or day-to-day stuff, it is video for sure. It is video, 100%.
Well, it seems like your schedule is pretty full.
Yeah.
So on a day-to-day basis, what is like a day in your shoes like?
From wake up to sleep, honestly what I do is I wake up. When I'm editing, I just literally sort all my photos. I sort all my photos and videos. That day I'm gonna do it, and I really just like organize, because my desktop is like all over the place. Like I got this event. So the first thing I do is I gotta organize. I can't work in a cluttered space. I gotta clean up whatever's around me, wires. I do that, and then after that, I probably just go grab a bite to eat, and I'm locked in on my computer. I'm either probably watching like some type of like seminar classes on like effects, or color grading, or just like I say, like directing, things like that, and then I hop over to like editing a little bit, and then just really just tweaking things and playing around. That's all I really do right now. I just tweak things, and I just try to find my niche in it, and I just sit here and say, okay, this is my style, this is what I'm gonna go with. So that's really how my day-to-day go. And then afterwards, I'm probably just chilling, let my mind relax, because it's like some days I get like inspiration when I just back away from the computer and I walk, or I watch a movie. Then I say, okay, cool, this is what I want to go do now. So yeah, that happens. So a lot of my days just really just consist of just like sitting there editing and then chilling, just really just like figuring out what lane I want to go down with this video, because I hate for everything to look the same all over. Yeah.
And I feel like you can never get bored with something like this, because the field is always changing. It's always new technology. It's always new way to shoot something. Like how do you keep up with all that stuff?
Reading and just really just like researching, you know what I mean? Because it's like in this field, in videography and photography, everybody expects you to just know everything. They're just like, oh, if I want to do this, I want to do this. And, at the end of the day, if you come with questions, I don't know, people are not going to take you serious as a professional. So I'm always just reading, going like new things, from like green screens, from like, like 3D rooms and After Effects. I'm always trying to just touch on everything, just so I can literally just know. Like, so most of the time we sitting down, people always asking questions like, how do you do this in the movie? How do you do that? If I sit and say I don't know, people are gonna look at me and go like, well, all right, this guy's not really serious about his craft. So I'm always just researching things. So if I see a movie, I see a shot, I try to like figure out who the director was, DP, and then I just go from there and go down the shot list, and I just see how they did it. But yeah, like for that, it's just going down that lane.
What about traveling? Because you mentioned like some days you're doing travel vlogs and stuff like that. So how often are you on the road?
I'm on the road a lot, actually. Whether it's international or just in the States, but I'm on the road a lot. Like I'm always traveling, because it's like artists is just, I feel right now in day and age, there's a ton of artists around the world. So as a videographer and photographer, this is like a golden moment for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me there's no work out there, because there's an artist in Texas that's looking for a videographer to work with. You gotta just really just apply yourself. There were times where, when I first was starting out, I was flying myself out to South by Southwest in Texas, and at the end of the day, I didn't have a lot of money, and I was staying in hotels. Like, I stayed in this one, I think it was like a Red something hotel, motel, whatever, and I was there for like 6 days in South by Southwest, and like my hotel was like roach infested kind of thing. It was just like where my pockets was at the time, and I didn't know, but I just knew I had to be in South by Southwest because I knew that's where all the hot artists was, and I felt like I got to gain connections. So that just made me a little bit more hungry. But like I said, like that right there was always in my head. Like there's always an event going, whether it's in Utah, whether it's here, and it's so much going on that you have to travel. And for me personally, I travel a lot. Like, I'm always back and forth from California to New York or Miami, things like that. So I'm always on the road. Like my last trip was Paris. It was Paris Fashion Week. Right. That was my last trip. It was.
That's dope.
Yeah, right. I love Paris. Yeah, have you guys ever been?
Never.
Nah. I haven't been blessed like that.
Yeah, I put it like this: if you're gonna go to Paris, either go with like a girl or a guy as a companion, or go with a group of friends. Mm-hmm. Like you just can't go to Paris by yourself because it's like pointless. So some trips you can, but Paris was one of those trips where it was just like I can see myself living it because the culture, the people, like hospitality, like they just love American culture, things how we move, our fashion, our music. So it was really dope thing. And then just like the whole like structure, how everything is built, like their museums, their food. It was a beautiful place. So Paris is a place everybody must go and see. And then during Fashion Week was even more crazy because you see like some of your top elite designers, and there's things that like I'm not a fashion guy, so it was like now that I'm here at these shows. I'm coming back home and I'm talking to girls and I'm like, that doesn't really match, or that's not even in right now. Right. You know what I mean? Things like that. So which is bad, but it's like you can't blame me. So but Paris Fashion Week was definitely a dope experience, and like I gotta keep, and I want to continue to keep going over there.
You made any connections out there in Paris Fashion Week?
Yeah. One connection actually I made was shout out to my boy Dre as well. He's a Post Malone manager. I stumbled across him. I was at the Offset show, and I was like kneeling down shooting, and I was just shooting. He had to take a photo of him, so I had my video camera, photography camera, and his phone, and he was just like, "Damn, you just killing it! Like you just got it all." And I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "I'm a shooter." And then he was just like, "Yeah, where you based out of?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm based out of New York, New Jersey." And he was like, "Yo, I'm from like Bergen. I used to live in Bergen County." I'm like, "Oh shit!" Mm-hmm. And then literally he was just like, "Let me see your page." And I showed him my page, and he was like, "Yo, we're gonna link." And then we exchanged numbers. So from there on, we was just like texting and stuff like that, and just really just talking. So that's one connect that I met that I like, that I keep in contact with out there. Yeah. That if any photographer goes out there, it'll just happen for you.
Yeah, your Instagram, speaking of, is like very uniform.
Yeah, you think so?
To me,
man, I think like
I feel.
Yeah, no. A lot of people say that, but I just feel like I don't have a direct color scheme with it. Like everything.
Oh my god, you're such a photographer.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't have a direct color scheme. I feel like one picture is like super vibrant and super detailed, and one picture is like dark and a little grainy. It's just like how I'm feeling that edit right there. But it's like. Nah, I feel you. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's so well put together." I'm like, I guess like. So
it wasn't intentional.
No. Like every time I edit is in my head, is like I shoot, and then when I get home, I think about what I want to do with this. Most videographers, they always, all right, I know how I want to go, what I want when I edit in there, but at the end of the day, you really can't because you're going into a spot you know nothing about. Correct. So you don't know the lighting. You know what I mean? You don't know how much access you're going to have unless you're fully there with that person. Mm-hmm. You don't know like how crowded the capacity is going to be. So you could be, you can't go this far, and it could be 3 people in front of you. You can't get no intimate close-up shots. So now you really can't edit like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like I have to really just go off my surroundings. Like when I go in there, I'm like, okay, cool. I know I got to catch B-roll here, and then I got to catch art. So then when I get home, then I actually put it together and figure it out.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you were doing workout videos for Kenneth. Don't slaughter me, y'all. I don't watch basketball.
I got it. Don't worry. You were doing workout videos with Kenneth Faried.
Yeah.
How did that even come about?
No, that's my guy. That's my bro. Actually, me and him, we went to the same high school. High school. He was a grade higher than me. And
what high school is that for the people?
Technology High School in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We both went there, and crazy thing about it was like we had mutual friends in high school. We knew each other, and we kind of got reacquainted again. He was in Miami, and we had a mutual friend, and literally my boy was like, "Hey, I'm about to go see Kayy, Kenneth, hang out with him, come through." I was like, "All right." I had my camera on me, so I see him. At the time in high school, I didn't look like this. I was short, I had braids, so he just kept looking at me. He said, "You look familiar," and I was like, "Yeah, it's Phil." And he was like, wait, braids? No, you lost weight? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yo, what are you doing out here? And I just was like, bro, I shoot. And he was like, y'all got a creative company, and it's called Infinite Vision. And he was like, yo, like, let me see some of your stuff. So I showed him some of my stuff. And he was like, yo, like, I want you part of my team. And I was like, for real. And then from that day on in Miami, he was like, yo, come to this boat party to me tomorrow. I was like, all right, I've never been to a boat party in Miami. And ended up being like a lit boat party. And I was just like, he was like, and I shot, and he was like, yo, I fuck with your work so much. And then from there on, he just was like, yo, like, I just want you to document my life. Like, I just want you to just, like, document workouts. I want you to document, like, me traveling as well, too. And he was like, when you're not doing your own thing. So I was like, for sure. And then so literally it just spiraled into that. Like, literally, like, bro, I got a workout video in Houston, or I got a workout video in LA, come out there. And then ever since then, we just been like this. So, like, that's, like, not even, like, a client. That's, like, that's his family. So it always been like that, really. But to bring the story, that's how me and him got together, really. And I started shooting a lot of his content for him.
So you guys still shoot together?
Yeah, we still shoot together. I just shot him at the Oscars event as well. He was there, I was there. Yeah, I shot him at the Oscars event. But yeah, I literally shoot, like, everything. I was in China with him. Like, yeah, he hit me up, like, the week before, like, you come to China with me, bro? And I just was like, yeah,
How long ago was you in China?
Oh boy, no. I know. I ain't gonna hold you. Same thing with me. I like, literally, when we got back, I was just like, bro, we got back in a good time. But it was really crazy over there though too. It was a crazy experience over there. But at that time it really wasn't going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, recently though, like, yeah, I went to hospital. I was feeling sick. I got tested. I was just like, no, you're good. So I was like, but in my head I kept thinking like this, it probably hit me first and I brought it, but I was just like, nah. But yeah, for sure though.
How is the atmosphere in China, like, compared to being in the US?
It's different. Like, crazy thing about it is in China, it's like one of those, like, depending on where you go, it's like, as minorities, black people, stuff like that, like, I don't know if they've ever seen black people before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some places I went to, they stare. And I know it's not like a disrespectful, rude thing, but it's just like one of those things where it's kind of like, you look different and unique. And, people were coming taking pictures of me, and I'm like,
oh my God,
I really want to know who you think I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I really want to know who you're tagging me as. But, like, the atmosphere out there, like, they have is great hospitality. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everywhere you go, they greeting you. They make sure, like, like, food-wise, things like that, everything, little delicacies and things. So the atmosphere is really good. Like I said, they're another country that really loves our culture as well, like, fashion-wise and our music. And, they just take from, like, just take everything from us and just embrace it. But the atmosphere was really good. It's just the food over there for me was different. Yeah, the food was different because, I don't eat pork. So a lot of things is pork based over there. Yeah, so for me it was like a lot of seafood and so that was type of things like that. So but I did find like McDonald's over there a lot. Yeah. Wasn't no Popeyes, which was terrible. But KFC as well too. But yeah, like the food delicacies. And then there was this one food over there. I ordered like some seafood rice or whatever. And I honestly thought it was maggots, but the lady ended up telling me it was like dried up shrimp skin. Yeah, don't ask me. It was really good though.
Skin.
Yeah. Like shrimp. Like when you peel a shrimp, the shell, it's like it's fried. Like they cook it and they mix it in with the rice.
Oh my God!
I don't even like eating the shrimp tail. You can't get me to eat no shrimp.
But I'm not gonna hold you. I was killing it. I was killing it, and then I look at my plate. I'm like, nah, this don't look like the shrimp rice I have at home. I don't know.
What did it taste like?
It was really good. Like it was. I was like 5 spoons in full. Like, and then I just noticed the light hit, and I said, man, what the fuck is this? I said, oh boy, what the fuck did I just eat? I start flipping out. And then the lady came over and she was like explaining to me English, and she was like, no, it's like, you peel a shrimp, they just take this the shell from it and they put it in the pan, fry it, and they mix it with the rice. So I just was like this, I gotta put that like in the menu, like fine print, because luckily I understand it, but somebody could freak out.
AKA me.
The Chinese food is very different over there. It's very different.
Of course, they don't eat what they feed us. It's crazy.
No, not at all.
Not. Of course not.
That scares me though.
No, for real. Like when I came back to New York, I went to a Chinese restaurant and I was like, I appreciate you guys so much. Like, you don't understand. Like, I was going crazy over there. There's too much seafood for me.
Even though they say like the Chinese food that we eat is like deer, dog, rat, cat.
Good deer, dog, cat.
if that's really what it is, then hey, it's in me. I'm a dog. Like, I'm a dog.
As long as you clean it right, man.
Every inch of this shrimp right here.
Yeah, I'm a dog. Yeah, I'm a dog. Like, I was walking this like flea market area, and I see this dude over in the corner. He's chefing it up. I see him throwing some sauce in. I'm like, I'm going over there. I'm thinking he making like a gyro or something. That's in my head. Is I go over there. It's like a shish kebab stick, and it's like a roach, like, you know, it was like another beetle on there, and I just was like this. I said, dang, dog, I said, I ain't gonna hold you. I would have killed it if I didn't see that, but it looked good, but I just couldn't do it. I just know I couldn't digest that, but yeah, but those things over there are like delicacies, you know what I'm saying? So it's different. Yeah.
Would you go back?
When I go back, I will go back, but I wouldn't go back for that longer period of time. Like I said, I would really go back to like sightsee really, and like for the fashion. Like the fashion over there is like crazy. Like crazy. Like I tell everybody, like, literally bring a certain like amount of clothes with you, because you're gonna end up buying a suitcase, like everything like that. For example, you know how here like your Off-White store is directly in the mall, and then since we're from overseas, we get like tax free. Okay. So it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's even different. So like your bait is not like $200 hoodie, it'll probably be 100 something. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So the fashion over there is crazy. Even your high end stores is like that. Yeah.
So the prices are decent too.
Yeah. Just from tax free. So, but like I said, like literally, and then the type of like releases they have too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like things that we don't have over here. Over there, it's like a limited quality. Quantity. So it's like you'll see it, and it's a little different. But yeah, it's really dope. Because a lot of things over there, I was thinking, I was like, man, that's not real. That's fake. And then the dude took me to the store, and I was like, oh nah, it is real. Oh shit, y'all really do got
sleeping on
China. Y'all really do got jeans like that. Oh, all right, my bad.
So you seem like you're a well-traveled individual.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What was your favorite place to go visit?
My favorite place to go visit.
First of all, name off the places that you've been. If it's not, you know, too.
Nah. I still got a lot of room on my passport.
Humble flex. He got a passport.
Right.
I think everybody should have a passport.
Everybody should. Like, I got mine. You feel me? But that's like a foreigner thing. Like we were like born with passports, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, where you from?
I'm from Haiti. Like my mom is from Haiti.
Oh, for
I was
real?
born in America. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, dope. Yeah.
Come out the womb with a passport. But like, where's some of the places that you've been?
I've been to Mexico. I've been to Trinidad. I've been to Jamaica. Paris, China, Canada, where else? And I've been to another, like, in Mexico, but it was like a little bit more deeper, like Belize, Mexico. It was like a little bit more deeper.
Okay.
But yeah, and that's really it right now. Like, you know, I got a couple of more goals on my list to hit, but yeah, that was really it right now. But one of my favorite places, I ain't gonna lie to you, is Canada. Canada is like one of the most like beautiful like places, and it's different. Like Canada's dope. Like Canada's dope. Like I'm telling you.
You trying to leave us and go to Canada?
I ain't gonna hold you. We get real over here. It's Canada's. Yeah, you ever been to Canada?
It's a good spot. Yeah.
No, yeah, Canada. Yeah, Canada.
It's a little cold, but you feel me? It's not nothing used to.
No. Yeah, like Canada, and then like it's just I don't know, like it's different. I like Canada.
Yeah.
Like club scenes. Like, you know, how they just interact with everybody. And it's like I walk down the street and it's like, you know, the cops are like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, we don't ever get that where I'm from.
Right.
Things like that. And like people are so well polite. It's clean out there. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was a really big different atmosphere. And like, you know, in the city, you know, you go talk to a girl, 9 times out of 10, she probably got a little attitude with you. Over there, it's like, you want to conversate? All right, we go out. And it's different. So it's just... Yeah, I like Canada a lot. I think everybody should just go to Canada. It's right there, especially if you live in Jersey. It's like a 7-hour drive, if that. You know, yeah.
You seem like the drive too.
I like to drive.
He said it like.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, if I got the time, I'll drive. Like, I'll go. I couldn't see myself probably spending like $1,200 on a flight just to go there for 4 days. I'll drive and you know still have my car over there. But yeah, it's a 7-hour drive. It's not that bad. I think everybody check it out. But you know Canada.
Yeah, it's a good spot.
Yeah, facts.
So one of the big marks on the list here, you have an upcoming documentary on the mental state of prisoners, correct?
Yeah, so literally the documentary was kind of one of those things where I didn't even have time to really have a blueprint or plan it. It really started off, I was coming to see a friend of mine's, and you know, he's actually on house arrest. 24-hour lockdown, and a lot of people were saying, oh, it's much better than being in prison. But to be honest with you, you actually go through a little different mental stage, because what happens is you're confined in this spot and you can't leave. The documentary is called Who Fault Is It? So basically the battle is because he was when he was younger, he ended up catching a gun charge that wasn't his. He was literally in a bad place at the wrong time, and the person who gunned it was like, hey, nah, it's mine, but the cops, in New York wasn't trying to hear it. So he ended up serving 2 years on Rikers Island. It was crazy. And he came home, and he actually was like, hey, I'm going to get a job and do it the right way or whatever like that. So I was there at that time too. He came home and nobody would hire him, literally nobody would hire him. And he had 2 doors at the time, and he was trying to he was working 2 jobs. He was working at the mall, and he was basically making $800 every 2 weeks. And living in the city, that's
nothing.
That's nothing. So and then he went to apply for a job at JFK, airport, to even do curb service, to clean up around there, pick up bags, and just because of his record, they said no. So in his head, he was just like, damn, I'm not even good enough to work curb service. So it did something to his mental where it kind of put him back into that street life, because he's like, I got family, I don't know anything else. And, documentary is not kind of to sit here and say it's an excuse or an acceptance for people to go back into that life of crime. But the reason why it's called, Who Fault Is It? Because as society, when we put these people behind bars and we say we want to institutionalize them and rehabilitate them, are we really doing that? Because then when they come out, we treat them as savages, you are an animal, you know what I'm saying? You don't deserve a high-paying job. You don't deserve to be, you can't even vote.
Yeah.
And that's really a luxury that we have, is voting over here. So it's things like that. And the mental state he goes in now is it's a depression mindset. And, he's home and he's on a 24-hour lockdown. He's like, I can't even walk off my porch. I can't even go to the store and get a pack of cigarettes. I can't even do certain things. I can't even go on a date. And then also too, the mental state of it is there's certain things that we was talking about that I noticed that if I'm out to eat with my girlfriend or something like that, or anything, let's say your girlfriend goes on your plate to grab a fry, you'll laugh, you'll joke, you'll be like, you're crazy. Yeah. With him, it's no, don't touch. To him, that's an issue, and that's I think things like that is what we have to look at and say, when we let these people back out in society, are they really rehabilitated? Do we really sit here and because do we understand them? Because what happens is we're talking to people who never was put in these type of shoes. So we have to understand their type of mindset and things. So the documentary is basically just his understanding and really to see the great debate on it. Is it our fault, society, that we don't really accept them back in and say, hey, your time is served, and here, you deserve a second chance. You deserve everybody makes mistakes, especially at a young age. And I don't know about you guys, but we all know somebody who's been incarcerated, and they come out and it's a shithole for them. It's that 1% that you hear of them making their own business, or that they actually are successful. So personally for me, it's a story that I feel that should be told, and that's a documentary I'm really working on right now with him. But like I said, I didn't have time to plan it, because I was sitting down with him for 4 hours, and I'm just like, dude, I want to do a documentary on you. I think this story should just be told. And, he just was like, for sure. So every day, I'm with him, he has to go turn himself in April. So every day I'm with him, I'm just documenting, his type of, different mindsets. He'll get a phone call from, a PO, and, his PO is like, hey, you didn't check in at this time. Do you want me to tell the judge you're not complying?
Wait, so he has to go back?
He has to go actually serve time.
Oh, so he never served the time?
Yeah. He has to go back jail for 5 years. So literally, he's on house arrest until he has to go in, which is kind of
it's backwards.
Yeah, just there. Either me personally is if he's on house arrest that long, hey, let him serve. Does count that time as served, or go in right now. So he's just bro, it's just brutal for me. So every morning it's you can't even go past the front gate of your house. So it's one thing to see him be optimistic and happy in the house, and the documentary shows he's making a sandwich. He's like, yeah, I got court today. I'm gonna come back home. To watch him be happy with his daughters, and then to go from your PO calling you saying, hey, you're not complying. Do you want me to tell the judge, this, that, and the third, and I can lock you up today? And he's just that's a power trip. It's things like that, you know what I'm saying, that in society that we really that we don't focus on because, you know, SPO is not familiar with the system. She's never been locked up in a cage. And, you know, I even have some interviews from judges on here that I know personally that are like, you know, there's some jails that I wouldn't even let a dog stay in or things like that. So it's really a dope documentary and an eye-opener for people to really understand, you know, when people come out in society that we should really, you know, accept them and just, you know, don't really outcast them.
I mean, that's deep.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
it's definitely
definitely
something that the people need to see.
He didn't serve his time yet at all?
No, he didn't serve no time yet for the charge. So he has a previous 2 years already for the gun charges in Rikers. You know, he came home. He was home for like 5 or 6 years, and literally he was like working like he had to lie for one job application. You know, and then they hired him. They found out, you know, and they made it a little difficult for him. He ended up quitting. You know, he ended up getting like little bullshit jobs like warehouse, things like that. But you know, he couldn't get back into regular. He couldn't he couldn't do his savings. Like, you know, making $500 a week. What are you saving? You got 2 kids you got to feed. So it's like it's things like that, or you know, and especially now with this prison reform thing going on, I think we like to stop focusing on really, of course, you know, not stop focusing on, but you know, the jail conditions, but you know, let's start actually focusing on inmates that are coming out and, you know, help rehabilitating them because those are the ones that are really struggling. You know, give programs to them and, you know, jobs that we know for sure that can, you know, help them out because, you know, like, for example, like, he was telling me this one thing about, like, license plates. They make license plates in there. If you really think about it, what company do you really go for license plates? You know, things like that. Or he was telling me, like, you know, how the guy Price is Right, the dude, Bob Barker. Yeah, if you go to the jail, like, his names is on bars of soaps and his names is on the bottom of slippers. Like, he owns prisons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so yeah. It's things
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah, it's things like that a lot of celebrities that you don't know, like, that own jails, but his name is on. Yeah, so he was like, he got the soap. He kept saying Bob Barker, and he was like, yeah. And then an inmate told him, yeah, it's the guy from Price is Right. He owns this prison. You know, things like that. And you know, if you do your history, you look at, you know, what Rikers Island is. You know,
It's horrible.
yeah, but if you know who it was named after, you know, Rikers is named John Rikers, who was a actual, like, you know, a famous slave catcher, but he was catching illegal, like, you know, free slaves and bringing them back. So it just brings you to that, you know, conspiracy of kind of like, you know, I don't want to get too crazy deep into it, but it makes you look at it and say like, damn, what's really going on? You know what I'm saying? How trapped are we? Things like that.
I feel like we really trapped.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, a lot of people. Yeah.
That's crazy because, you know, you always treat, like, and we're victim of it too sometimes, like when people get out of prison, you kind of treat them a little bit differently. And not because, like, you want to treat them differently. It's just because, like, the way society programs, like, yo, these people are no good. Yeah. You don't know what they went in for. You don't know what they did in there to change themselves. Yeah. And what they try to market prison as is a rehabilitation center, like you said. And they're not really rehabilitating anybody. No. They're taking you, they're making you serve that time in horrible conditions and then shipping you out back to the regular world and telling you, yo, since you did this 5 years ago when you was a teen, now you're an adult. Because of the mistakes you made as a teen, you can't get none of these jobs because of what you made, the mistake you made when you was 16 years old.
Yeah, it's terrible. Crazy. Yeah, it's terrible. Like, you know, it sucks because it's like, you know, just, you know, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. So, you know, for me, I grew up kind of like in a, you know, a poverty kind of urban area, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm used to seeing, you know, like, you know, people go to jail, come home and, you know, just the struggles with it. And for me, it's like you said, society, it teaches you to go like this. You go to jail, you're bad forever and you're that person. But you understand, like, you know, how many people out there really went to jail and they didn't do the crime. You hear about these cases, DNA was just found where this guy was in jail for 23 years. Like, a guy just spent, like, it was a recent case where a guy spent like 15 years of his life and he got awarded 1.5 mil. And you're like this, 1.5 mil is not all the time. You know what I could have been? You know what I mean? So it's something like that I really think we need to have a big wake up call on, you know what I'm saying? Especially inside, because it's just like, bro, it's like, it's never going to end. And it's like, nowadays, these young kids out here, you know, I'm hearing stories where people are like, you know, these young kids are catching murders for like somebody stepping on their shoe. Right. And it's like, you're not thinking about it. Like, bro, you're literally, me personally, before I do any crime, I think about, damn, like, no disrespect, but it's like, damn, am I ever gonna be with a woman again? You know, I can't get up and go to my refrigerator. I can't hop on my phone and text real quick. But these young kids, they're not thinking about that right now. They don't know about when they're 30 or they're 35, they come out and you can't even go to Urban Outfitters or you can't go to Checkers. You know what I mean? And get a job just because of your record. And it's like, now what you gotta go do? You gotta go back to the streets. And then it's like, now you're back in that cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people actually out there, he was telling me, are actually comfortable going back to jail. They're like, yo, I don't even want to be in society anymore. I want to go back to jail. And that's a terrible way to think about it.
And the crazy thing is they think about it like that because when they come out, they really don't have anything anymore.
Yeah.
It's like at least in jail, they know that they getting 3 meals a day.
Yeah,
they know that they got a shower. They know that they get rec time. They know that they have different activities in there, and they're fully insured with healthcare in there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So whatever happens inside there, that's what they know. Back to institutionalized.
That's what I'm saying. So they literally don't even care about their family. They don't care about, like I said, like in person, being with a woman. You know, having somebody love them. It's just like it's a dark place, and like I said, it's caged animals. And I think with them, it's just like one of those things like where it's like you have to just be mindful because when they come out, they're scared. And it's like, you know, no grown man at 40 years old or 50 years old wants to sit here and bag groceries or, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when they have the mindset and capabilities of actually, you know, the intelligence of doing a great job. Like, they took up a trade or a cook, something like that. It's like, you know, why can't we just give them these opportunities? And, you know, it sucks, but that's how society is right nowadays. Like, you know, you have people with college degrees who work minimum wage jobs and people who high school dropouts with mansions. So it's just like it's crazy. But I think the documentary is gonna, like, you know, I don't know where it's gonna go. Like, you know, I'm not gonna go into it with the mindset of, oh, I'm hitting here. I just wanted to hit some people and, you know, get in some film festivals and, you know, just get some notoriety on it and let people just understand, you know, the actual, like, the severity of it.
What do you feel like the change should be? Like, what change would we have to make in order to make this situation better?
To be honest with you, it really just comes with just acceptance. It comes with acceptance and really just, you know, understanding, you know, people mistakes. You know, not everybody is an animal or dog. Don't get me wrong. I think there are some people who should spend the rest of their lives in jails. Like, you know, not you know, categorizing people, but I think literally there should be people who should be placed under the jail. But at the end of the day, it's just, if you do your time and you're in there and you come out and you know you're ready, I think you should give a fair chance. You know, with anything, I think everybody deserves a second chance in their life. So I think as society, you know, we should start developing, you know, programs, or we should be a little bit more open and lenient with our acceptance for job applications. You know what I'm saying? You know, this person could literally have all the knowledge, like, you know, and with his story, it's crazy because, you know, a lot of criminals coming up and they're going to jail, you know, it starts at a young age. You hear about it, oh, hey, you know, he was bad since he was 14, you know, he was stealing cars or selling drugs. What his story was, he come from a house where his father was a cop, his mother was a physician, and literally, you know, he was a National Honor Society. He really went to University of Maryland. He played baseball, like, he got a scholarship. He was literally, like, if you look at his resume and take away the criminal record, he's an actual great person. You look at it, you be like, this is a guy I want to hire. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could literally show his report cards, GPAs. Like, so when he went to college, he didn't have to went to jail, he didn't have to do GEDs. Like, you know what I mean? He didn't have to do that type of stuff. And it's like, he comes from working, you know, making a job from where he was making $25 an hour, then literally catching this charge, and then now he's making 15 cents. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, a lot of people in jail, they don't have families. So what happens to them is they don't have that money, you know. So now they're in jail. They gotta scratch, fight, do whatever they gotta do. Luckily, he had a good support system, so he didn't really have to worry about money. But, you know, the story is not just for him. It's for people who are in jail who don't have nobody calling them, things like that. So these people shouldn't be afraid to come out. They should want to come out and, you know, like I said, and just understand it. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think we should sit here and say, oh man, great job, you came out of jail, here's a $100K job. No, but we shouldn't literally look at it.
But what if we did? Like, what me personally, I feel like you making a mistake has nothing to do with what you're capable of doing at a job. That's just me personally. Even if you had a gun charge, like, what does that have to do with what you're here to do at work?
True. No. I definitely understand that. But also, too, now you got to look as far as, like, what about the person who actually, you know, went down the right path, like, went to high school, got the 4.0, went to college and got that, you know what I'm saying? Now we got to think about them. So it's like, I feel like as a society, we should just really just low-key understand, like, okay, you did this crime, come out, I'm still going to give you a chance. You know, I'm not going to just shut you out the door because I see you have convicted felon. No, I'm going to give you that chance. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see what your capabilities are. I'm going to see what you're going to do. But like I said, at the end of the day, too, we still have to be fair to the people who actually did do right, you know, by the system and, you know, follow those type of rules. But like I said, I think we should just give a fair chance in general. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we should outcast anybody just because of their record or what they're done. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
That's true.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the most qualified should win. At the end of the day,
But they don't. Even people who don't like have never went to jail. Exactly. That's just like some college kids who can't find jobs, but then you give a job to Sally Mae, whose parents are millionaires.
But that's based off like who you know.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? How many times have we went for a job and we're like this, bro? I literally have everything on this list they're asking for. 3 years of experience. I literally have a bachelor's degree.
Right.
I can name X, Y, and Z, and it's like you give it to this person. It's really based on who you know, and that's it. I think that's the terrible part about it, and that's how society is. So it really just comes within and like how we have to change ourselves.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree.
The facts.
But moving on from that, you also are trying to design a program to kind of keep the art alive.
Yeah.
So how important is that, being that you have a friend who was going through a really hard time, and so for the generation to come?
Yeah, so honestly, a lot of these celebrities that I shoot, and important people I meet, I always try to keep a open line of communication with them because at the end of the day, it's really based off, like I said, who you know. Really, the program I'm developing right now, well, not currently right now, but the program I have into Works, where I'm actually doing blueprints with that is keeping the art alive. And I got that from, once again, growing up in the city, and a lot of people think making it out your neighborhood or making it out your mom's home and being successful is either nowadays is rapping or being an athlete, you know what I mean, or you get hit with the generic story as is be a doctor, be a lawyer, go get a good job. And 9 times parents tell you that go get a job with benefits, that's considered success, which is nothing wrong with that. But the thing about the art I want to keep alive is letting people know, like, hey, you have a story, you have a vision as well. Yeah, you may not be able to shoot a basketball, you may not be able to even sing a note, you may not be able to even do an open heart surgery, but hey, you maybe can draw, you maybe can storytell. There's something for you in this field, fashion, you know what I mean, photography. So me personally, I want to open up a facility where, like, a Boys and Girls Club, because I see a lot of them are being shut down.
Yes.
When I grew up in Boys and Girls Clubs, and to see a lot of them being shut down is kind of sad because the youth has nowhere to go. So with my connections I'm making, talking to people, I will hopefully, I can get donations and especially, with my credibility, I can get like some type of funding from the city or anything where, you can get like donated, like, cameras, canvases, and, probably like a dance studio, just something to keep kids active. Cause I feel like we lose that, you know what I'm saying? Like we lose that as people, like, and the art is something that we always should have and express. So that's one thing I want to do, whether it's a writing class. So that's a program I'm working on right now, is keeping the art alive and just letting people, understand, like, just, hey, like, 10 years ago, it was cool to paint like a Basquiat painting right now. It's like worth a times the amount of money, 5-10 mil. You never know, like, the next kid can actually be that type of artist, but they never will be able to establish that because as society, we always teach them, you're not going to be rich as a painter, you're not going to be here. So it's like, like, we have to let these kids do what they want to do. You know what I mean? People, are falling to the fact of, I have to go get a regular job because, my mom doesn't think I'm going to be great as a singer. And these girls have beautiful voices.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Or as a model. It's things like that I want to keep alive for people and just always keep something going on for the generation, just keeping the art alive.
And it's dope that you're kind of inspiring these kids to know that not only art is alive, but their art is important as well.
Yes.
You feel me? Because sometimes, like you said, parents would be like, that's cool, but you need to do this. Like, they want something more stable. And it's important to kind of inspire the creative juices in a kid's head because, especially when we're young, our imagination is, like, limitless. Like, the sky is literally the limit for us as kids because we don't know no better.
Yeah. And, you hear most stories, everybody, I want an MBA or I want to be a cop, I want to be this. Like I said, those jobs are totally fine, but you don't have to be just that confined to that. Like, I'm pretty sure when you guys first started this type of thing, I could be wrong, but nobody really was like, well, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, what do you guys want to do with that? But now look at you guys. You guys are blossoming and you guys are, doing a lot. So it's like, you never know. Yeah, like, literally, what you're doing right now could be for the next generations of your family. Like, you just like, I started off on a podcast in a room, and now it's like I have shows here, and that's keeping the art alive. You know what I'm saying? It is like, you guys have a voice, and I'm an artist, and you guys are my platform. So it's like, we have to appreciate each other. So that's really what it's really for.
I have a question. It's just like, there's been this new trend. It's been going on for a couple of years now, where like people like shooting stuff on their phones. What's your take on people shooting it on their phones versus like actual cameras?
It's a love and hate thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a love and hate thing. I love it because you know, people are getting more into actually creating, and you know, you're seeing all the crazy stories and you're seeing all the crazy details people are doing. You're seeing like their vision. The bad thing it what it does is it takes away also from the art, because people are not actually digging no more into actually figuring out, you know, certain type of rules. Like, you know, a person, like I have a film background, so for me when I'm shooting, I get into a film mindset. So I get into like for example, if I'm shooting a dialogue, I get into a 180 rule. 180 rules mean I can't cross that line. I have to keep everything on the same side. Whereas some people nowadays are saying, man, fuck the 180. My bad, can I curse? Oh yeah, fuck the 180 rule. I'm gonna just shoot it. And it's like, it's cool, I get that, but one thing you have to do is now when you keep art alive, you have to respect the art as well. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I love it because, you know, nowadays is people can just story tell whenever they want and they're not limited. But the bad thing about it is that it's just becoming oversaturated. And what it's doing to the thing is actually taking the quality from it. So, you know, nowadays it's just like, you know, prime example, like this setup right here, like I came here earlier and told you, I think location is everything. Right. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, not discrediting anybody, but I would take this podcast right here, this interview, a lot more serious than I would take somebody having a microphone and sitting on the couch in their house. It just shows the effort of it. And, you know, no disrespect, the conversation may be good, but in order to actually be respected, you have to, you know, have an image and put yourself into it. Visual is important. Yeah, it's really important. It's like my mom always told me, like, I judge people off their shoes. And it's like, you know, if you come at me with some beat up shoes, I'm gonna look at you and say, yeah, you probably don't have this, but it's like, and you probably are capable, but it's just how you present yourself. So, you know, how you present yourself here is, I come here, I know it's business, I know I'm serious, I know you guys are serious, so I don't come to waste your time. And it's like, I don't want to just come to my house and sit on the couch and talk all day. Now, mine just probably be a great podcast, but it's just how you present yourself. So for me personally, that's how I feel right now. And it's like people are presenting themselves with kind of cheaper equipment, or like I know people right now, they're like, how much for a photo shoot? Personally, me, I work with all budgets. Like a lot of people think I'm expensive because I work with celebrities, and I was like, nah, I work with all budgets. Like I just love shooting it. So you may catch me on a day where I'm like, yo, we can run it up for $100. Let's go. No, we can run it up 50, whatever. But you got some people out there who are like, nah, I'll do a photo shoot for $30, and I'm like, this, bruh. You're killing the game now, because now you're just doing it for the money aspect. You know, where me, I actually take it as far as I shoot, I go home, I hop on Photoshop, I edit the photos, that's what I do. And it's like, now it's one of those, oh nah bro, I just put it in this app and I'm done. And it's like, I guess so. Right. So that's my take on it. It's a love and hate thing with it.
Right. So speaking of, like you said, you spoke a lot about rules. So like, what do you think about, because you know how to color correct, so what do you think about people using preset filters as opposed to color correcting?
I think honestly for me, it's like, once again, it's one of those things where if it fits you and is going for you, then for sure. Personally, me, it just depends on the project. Now, if I'm shooting a music video, or if I'm shooting like an event, or I'm color correcting it. You know, I'm treating it as this is a high, this is a high budget. But if I'm shooting something for you just real quick in the club and you just want to go, and then I'm throwing a preset on there because it's just like I'm just giving you really for that time span. So for me, presets are really just made for quick color filters and just give that cool kind of look. And if you tweak it a little bit, it can look cinematic. So for me personally, I'm a color correct guy. Like I color correct on DaVinci Code. Like that's just what I do. And that takes me a little bit more different because I had to play with colors, RGB, and things like that. I don't just throw a LUT and call it quits. You know, I used to be a LUT guy, but then I started getting more into it, and I was like, nah, I have to really a preset guy, and I have to really just be like, nah, I have to take time in this because that's respecting the craft. Right. So if I get on set with a real director or a real editor, and I'm like, oh, hey, throw a LUT on here, he gonna look at me like, no, no, I need you to know how to color. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. It's like now, like with some producers, you know, you have some producers out here who make crazy amazing beats, but they can't play the piano. Right. You know, so it's like you ain't really take time in your craft to learn your craft. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not asking you to learn every instrument, but you should know something. You know what I'm saying? And it's even like if you're a model or something like that, you don't know who this person is, or you don't know this type of style, this type of walk. You know, you're a designer, you don't know this. It's like, yeah, you don't really take your craft that serious. Right. That's my thing on it. Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
That's dope. I'm supportive of everything you have going on.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Sure. We need those donations for
for sure. For sure. Definitely need you guys in there. You guys need to come and keep up in there, come for sure. So like you guys are like more than welcome. Like when I started up, you guys are more welcome to just come out and check it out. And hopefully you guys one day come and donate some time and teach kids how to set up and
of course, 100%.
You guys got a lot of experience from starting from college.
It's all about paying it forward at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I said. I'd rather, before I give free game to somebody who's not going to appreciate it, I'd rather give it to a kid who's going to soak it up and probably look at it a different way. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is right now.
That's dope. Thank you for stopping by Champions.
Thank you for having me, guys. Yeah, for sure.
You want to let everybody know where to find you if they want to book you for a shoot?
For sure. Right now you could literally my email is iamskit8@gmail.com if you want to book or anything. My Instagram is as iamskit, iamskit. My website is www.iamskit.com. I'm uploading some new content up there this Friday. So you can see some photos I've done and some videos and if anything, if you just want to just talk or you want to just come through, hit me up, man. We can definitely chop it up and create.
Dope. Shout out to you guys for tuning into Champions Corner today. I am Kayy Simone, Ali John. We are here, Champions Corner, LRM Network. We are out.
Yes, sir.
I be ballin', I be rollin', don't got money, gotta go. Ain't my bitch, ain't my hoe. Fool nigga, they the pole. You ain't know that he told. He was snitching like a bitch. Bet that pussy nigga fold. I just pulled up with the grip, and that pussy nigga froze. I just took a nigga bitch, now he mad, she ain't home.